Hello, everybody. Good morning to all. Am I audible to all?
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. Good morning. Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, hi all. Welcome to this ELC activity, everybody. So, first of all, I'd like to ask, have you attended any ELC activity as of now? So, did I take design and tools exploration for you guys in the last semester? Anyways, so ELC activities, everybody, see, we organize all of these ELC activities. These are experiential learning activities where we try to impart a hands on experience for all of you people, for all of you students here. Fine. So you must have seen the list. There are a number of ELC activities that we conduct, like related to data science, related to machine learning, related to cybersecurity, and related to robotic arm activity as well. Correct. So in all of these activities, we try to impart a hands-on experience to all of you. So we teach computer science stuff only here. Fine. So, but this is, I would say that fun yet informative activity which will help you improve your skills, which will also help you to, fetch jobs in good industries. So, if you like mobile app activity, then you can get into any mobile app development industry, and same is the case with the other activities as well. Fine. So here in mobile app activity, everybody, what will be our agenda? So in the first 1 hour here, I will try to teach you that what software do we require here. Fine. What is the underlying code? Maybe we'll have a discussion on what is the underlying code that you can build for your mobile app development activity there. Fine. And after that, everybody, in the next 1 hour, I will try to go to like some deeper perspective of mobile app activity. So I understand that you guys are from first year. Fine. So there will be a number of things that you do not know beforehand because there are some prerequisites that are required for it. Fine. So in that case, we will not go that deep into it because it is out of scope for me to tell you each and everything that is existing there. Maybe it is related to object oriented programming, maybe it is related to MySQL. I will try my best to teach you whatever I can in this activity. Fine. But be assured of this thing that sufficient amount of material will be provided to you. And post this, you have to submit an assignment. So while submitting the assignments, if you encounter any type of problem, you can always contact me, and there will be sufficient amount of material that will be provided to you in this case, so that you can consult them and you can get your problem resolved there. Fine. So here, let me just start with the activity. Fine. So I'll share my screen now. And also, I need some interaction. See, I want this session to be interactive. Fine. So, as I have told you, that in this case, like there are a number of things that you might not be knowing. So, I want you all of you guys to be vocal about it. Fine. If you do not understand anything, just let me know. You can interrupt me in between and I'll try to answer your questions. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, great. Fine, everybody. So, before I start, fine. So, there is a surge in mobile applications that you see around, that you see on your systems, that you see on your mobile phones there. That is because with the advent of internet and everything has become accessible, so everybody is now porting to app. Fine, be it a e-commerce website or like be it an education like assistance material. Everybody is shifting to an a mobile application there. Fine. So in this case, as a computer scientist, it has become like very important for us as well that if we are developing any sort of application, be it related to data science, be it related to ML, be it related to AI. So when we deploy using mobile app as well. Okay. So I've used this term called deployment. What do you mean by this term deployment? Have you ever heard of this term?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by this term deployment?
Ma'am, like we create a website and we put it on the Chrome so that everyone can use it, can access it. That is what
To
deployment.
launch or socialize it.
Launch it. Okay, that is what do you mean by deploy. Fine. Also, with the help of websites, you can deploy your application. For example, I have recently built my own application. Find something that is related to our own university. Maybe a buy sell app, buy sell kind of software here only. Fine. So if I have to, deploy it, if I have to, launch it, fine, the best way possible here is to deploy it using a mobile application so that everybody can use it. Fine, everybody can download this in your app and they can see what you have done as a part of this buy and selling thing here. Fine. So in that particular case, it will be more easily accessible to all of you. Fine. So this is about a very simple application. If I have designed something like really big related to like, for example, we have designed an LLM, like large language model, that is for like, for example, for the students of Thapar. Fine, they can ask questions on that on that transformer, on that large language model. That is particularly what a chat bot, and they can get answers for them. So it is very important for your first year students. So when they are very new to the university, they have a couple of questions. Fine. So we have designed particularly for them. Then what will be the best way to deploy that chat bot as well? I think the best way to deploy that chatbot will also be a mobile application. Fine. So, mobile application is something that you use at the end of your development phase. So, if I have designed a chatbot here, fine, in order to make it accessible to all of these first year students, I will do what? I will design a mobile application out of it so that it is accessible to all. Fine. So in your due course of your degree, in your like due course of your upcoming assignments, if you will do any, fine, in that case, everybody, the deployment part is really important because deployment is like dissemination of your particular application, whatever you have built, to all those people. Yes, website is one of the ways as well. Mobile application is in another way. And you all know about it that mobile application is much more easily accessible as compared to your website. Nowadays, nobody serves these websites. If I have to go to Mintra, I will directly access it using Mintra app. I will not use Mintra website. Who uses Mintra website? Nobody uses Mintra websites. Fine. So in that particular case, see, mobile application is really important for all of you. But as I've told you, here, first of all, we will need like some sort of prerequisites here. So let me just go through the prerequisites and then we will try to go much deeper into this mobile application. Fine. So there are a number of people who are trying to join everybody using their Gmail ID. Please let them know that please join using your Thapar email ID. Fine. So in that case, I will not have to authorize you. There are a number of people who are trying to join using Gmail ID. Okay. So yes, there are two links that were shared for this meeting. There was another link that was shared. It is that so?
Ma'am, we got only one through the Gmail which you sent.
Yeah. So I think okay. So I logged in through some other link. Is that so? Okay. So what we can do here is see if that is the problem. Let me see here. Okay, so are you talking about this link? Let me just go there as well. Yeah, there are other people who are waiting there. Okay. Just give me a minute, everybody. Just give me a minute. I'm coming back in 2 minutes. I think now it is sorted. Everybody has started joining this call only. Fine, everybody. So, talking about the prerequisites here, okay. So, what is a mobile application, first of all? What do you understand by this term, mobile application, everybody? So, mobile application is what, everyone? It is nothing but it is a kind of software, correct? So, have you ever heard of this term called software? What do you mean by this term software?
Ma'am, software is a code.
Correct. It is a code, it is a program only. That
A set of instructions.
correct. A set of instructions, a code, a program that will execute a dedicated task. Fine. So mobile application is what? Mobile application is also a program. It is also a set of instructions that will execute a dedicated task. Whatever instructions you give to it, it will also execute that. Fine. So now, if I talk about this term called operating system, fine. Now, operating system is something that you must have like not observed, you must have heard of it. Fine, because you are using plenty of operating systems at your end as well. So, what is an operating system?
Ma'am, it manages the working of the computer system, like all the resources, all the softwares. It is managed by the OS.
Yes, yes. So, examples of operating systems are what? So, you have
Windows,
Windows,
iOS.
you have Mac OS, correct? You have Android in your phones, you have iOS in your phones, that is also an operating system. You have Linux, you have Fedora. All of these are what? These are what? Operating systems, everybody. Fine. So these operating systems, they kind of provide you with an interface, with the user interface with which you can access the various softwares that are in your system, with which you can access the hardware of this system. Fine. So it manages what? It manages both. It manages software, it manages hardware as well. Fine. So in case if I have to open any application in my own PC, if I have to open like a text editor in my own PC, fine. So it has provided me a very beautiful interface. I will just click on that particular icon and I'll be able to access that. Fine, everybody. If I have to go to like FaceTime, I'll just click on FaceTime and I'll be able to access it. So it is provided to me by my operating system. Fine, everybody. So similarly, in your mobile phones, you have Android, iOS as your operating systems. Fine. And you run your softwares, you run your mobile applications on particularly Android and iOS softwares there. Okay, iOS operating systems. Fine. These are the most popular ones that are in the market that we normally use there. Correct? So now, first of all, I will have to tell you about the IDE that you have to use in order to build your mobile applications. Fine. So, what is an IDE? It is like an integrated development environment that will help you to write your mobile applications. Fine. So, if you have to write your C code, you need some, software to write your C code. In case you need to write your C++ code, that is a different sort of software, okay, that has that particular compiler. Fine. Now if I have to write this like mobile application also, this is also a software. If I have to write this, then you need a particular ID. Fine. So in this case we have Flutter. Fine. So we will be doing all this mobile app coding in Flutter here. Okay. Flutter. Okay. This is Flutter. Now, Flutter can be used as an extension on various IDEs as well. Fine. VS Code is one of the IDEs that you can use. I hope many of you must be aware of VS Code because you have done your share of coding in C programming. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, so many of you must have installed VS Code.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. So that's why I have opted for VS Code here. Fine. So we have VS Code, and there are a number of extensions that you can install in VS Code. That is something that you also know because you must have installed your particular compilers, GCC compiler, and other sort of compilers in VS Code. Fine. So you can also directly install your Flutter extension here in the VS Code. Fine. So how to install it? There are plenty of links that are available online. Okay, so we will not waste time in the installation here itself. Fine, because I have a different operating system. You may be having a different operating system. Fine. So in that case, it is out of scope here. I will like to show you a number of links that pop up online that can help you. Also, I'll be sharing this through LMS. Fine, but let me just show you here. So installing, you just have to write installing Flutter on VS Code. Okay. Okay. So in order to install Flutter, you need to install this Flutter SDK, and then you need to install the Flutter and Dart extensions here. Fine. So this is a step-by-step process that you need to follow. You just need to do this click and go, and it will be able to install the particular mobile this on your VS Code. Fine. So also there is this, there are different operating systems with which you can install. So if you have Windows, you will click on this. If you have Mac OS, you will click on this. If you have Linux, then you will click on this. But believe me, it is very, very easy to install this. Fine. Just click and then, it will complete the installation process. Fine. Also, you are already aware of the VS Code interface, so it will be relatively easier for you guys to venture into it. Okay. But still, in case you have any issues, you can always drop by my cabin, or you can always let me know through a mail. I will try to resolve it. Fine. So now talking about our very first application that I'm going to show you here. So here I will just open a recent application. So whenever you install Flutter, everybody, this is the first application that pops up. This is something that you do not need to code. Fine. Whenever Flutter is installed in any sort of IDE, it comes up with application. Fine. So this is like an application where I'll be clicking on the buttons, and it will be counting that how many times I have clicked it. Okay. So let me first run this for you guys, and then I will come back to the coding part here. So if I have to run this, I will also tell you how to run this step by step. But as of now, I'm just running it. So see here, this is a demo app that comes with Flutter. Fine. So if I click on these buttons, okay, so it will show me the count that how many times I've clicked it. Fine. So this is like a simple mobile application that comes with Flutter here. Fine. But why is this important to discuss here is, it is important to discuss because it provides you with the blueprint of the Flutter code. What do you mean by blueprint? Blueprint is something that a code is given to you for a very simple mobile application, and you can always tweak it with your own requirements. Fine. So now instead of just a button, I need 3 buttons. So that will be very easy for me with this particular blueprint code. Fine. So let us go through the code once here. So here, as in every program, there is a main function. There is this main function with inside this main function, there is a predefined function called running app, which will help you to run your app. Fine. Next is that, so it uses classes and object. Okay. So first of all, tell me the concept of classes and objects, everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have done C++, correct? So I don't need to
Not
go.
C++.
Okay. You have not done C++ as of now. Okay. So object-oriented programming is not done. Fine. So classes and objects, if I tell you everybody, see, it is a part of object-oriented programming. Fine. So classes again, it is a blueprint of a certain task that you need to execute here. Fine. So let me just give you an example. I'll not go into the proper definition of what is class and what is an object. Fine. But I will tell you with the help of an example. For example, we are in a university. Fine. So there are various departments here. So whenever I am implementing for example, a university software. Fine. So I will create a class by the name of department. Now, every department will have a certain sort of entities. Every department has students. Every department has faculty members. Every department has a certain lab attendants. Every department has certain resources that they require in order to function. Fine. So I'll create a super class for it. Fine. So there is a class, for example, with which under this I have all the entities, faculty, students, lab resources, etc. etc. Fine. Now, if I have to store the data, for example, for our computer science department, now what I will do, I will just store the data. For example, I will just take like computer science department as the object of this class. And then I will try to store the faculty members of computer science class, the students of computer science class, and the lab resources of computer science class here as well. Fine. Now for like other department, like electrical department, I do not have to create like a new class. I can create a new object of electrical department, and then I can store all of these data there. I can store the faculty members, I can store the students there. So I can store whatever I need to store about it. Fine, everyone. So classes and objects, it's like another example that I can give here is like, for example, you have a very simple example that we normally give here, that is, for example, you have different figures here. You have like circle, you have like rectangle, you have like square, like, so there are different figures here. Fine. So now here I have to implement the area functions of all of these figures here. Fine. So how will I go about it? Again, if I created a class for like figure, fine, and there are like certain data items, data members that I have to include here. So there will be like a different, please mute yourself. There will be like certain data members that I have to include for it. So there will be like class figure, fine, with which I will try to implement the different areas of the different figures like triangle, circle, and I will also try to implement the other one like rectangle here. Fine. So here you are taking one class and you are extending something called as stateless. Fine. Now, what is extending? What is a super dot key? Is what is inheritance here? Fine. Again, see, this is important to know, but you will know or you will be taught all of these things in due course of time, because there is a dedicated course on object oriented programming where you are taught classes and object, where you are taught inheritance, where you are taught like a number of things here. Fine. So in that case, see, I will not go very deep into it, but I will provide you with this blueprint code where you can just tweak here and there and you will be able to design a new mobile application out of it. Fine. So it is extending stateless widget. Yeah, so I was talking about stateless widget. So there are two sorts of widgets that you will be implementing inside mobile application, everybody. One is the stateless widget and other one is the stateful widget. Fine. Now, what is stateless widget, everybody? Stateless widget is immutable. Fine. What do you mean by the term immutable? Immutable means something
Can be changed.
that cannot be changed.
Cannot be changed.
It is immutable. If it is mutable, that means it can be changed. If it is immutable, that means it cannot be changed. So stateless widget is like a standalone entity in your mobile application. Fine. For example, I just need a screen with the heading. So it will not change with my like whatever I click on my mobile application. It should stay consistent. It should stay static there. So that will be a stateless entity in my mobile application. On the other hand, I just showed you a button. Fine. I was clicking on this and then it was, incrementing the counter. That was a stateful widget. Why so? Because it is changing state as in when I am, interacting with the mobile application. Fine. So stateful widget is what? It is mutable. Stateless is something that you need to be static throughout your mobile application. Fine. So the dynamic part should go to the stateful widget. Fine. And the static part, it should go to the stateless widget here. Fine. After this, everybody, I need to show you. So see here, this is the title that you need to provide. So I've provided the title as Flutter Demo Home Page here. Also, you can do your own share of styling. You can select the color scheme here. You can also tell what sort of color that you want, colors.deep purple or any sort of purple. These colors, that which color to use, whether it is cyan, whether it is white, whether it is like purple, fine. All of these things are already given in the Flutter um, official documentation. Fine, the names of those colors, because we don't know the names of those colors that can be deployed in Flutter applications there. Fine. So this is already given to there on their official documentation. After that, I have to show you, see here, this is the most important function here. Fine. So in this increment counter, I will have to first of all use this particular function called set state. See, wherever you have a stateful widget, fine. So in this, I am implementing or extending a stateful widget. Why? Because I have to implement a counter that is changing its state. Fine. So wherever you have this stateful widget, you need to have this set state as one of the functions here. Now, set state as one of the functions will actually tell that what to do with this. So if you are incrementing counter, or if you're changing colors, or if you are doing some other thing here, if you are displaying something, so that should be included as a part of this function, that what you need to do. Here I'm just incrementing counter. So counter is something, it is a variable that I have taken before and I'm just incrementing it. Fine. And then so this is all the like interface, that what is the background color, what is the app bar, what will be the title. Fine. So all of these things, these are really understandable through this mobile application code. Fine. I am not expecting you to write this on your own. Fine. Nobody writes it on its own. That is because the blueprint is already given to you guys. Fine. So the if the code is given to you, what you can do here is you can make the changes here and there, and you can get your desired mobile application for it. Fine. So all of this, that where will be the action button, whether it is in the bottom right, bottom left, or it is top right, top left, everything is given to you. Fine. And then you need to just tweak it according to your own requirements there. Fine. Now, after this, see, every widget, if I say, if I'm taking a stateful widget, it will not always be a button. Fine. It can be any number of things here. For example, I'm clicking on a drop down menu and then I'm displaying something. Fine. So that drop down menu will be what? That will be my particular stateful widget. Fine. Now on drop down menu also, if you press on that particular option there, then which function you need to implement? On pressing this button, which function does the app need to implement? On pressing the button, it needs to implement the increment counter. This is the function that I just showed you. Fine. So this is the function that I just showed you. Correct. On clicking on this button, it has to implement this particular increment counter here. Fine. So these are a number of things that you must be aware of. These are the things that you need to tweak in case you have to design your own mobile application there. Fine. So you can change your background colors. You can change the various widgets that you are using. Fine. Maybe it is a stateless widget or it is a stateful widget. Fine. So there are a number of stateful widgets that are already available in Flutter. Maybe a text box, maybe a button, simple button, maybe a radio button, maybe a drop down menu. Fine. So all of these widgets are available, and if you want to use them, you just need to write the correct name for it. Fine. And implement the correct function for it. So if I show you what are the different widgets that are available here, let me click or write stateful widget examples here. Yeah, so here it is written. So some examples of stateful widgets, these include here text fields, checkboxes, radio buttons, fine. So all of these are actually what stateful widgets here, fine. That will help you to implement the dynamic part of your app. Okay, whatever it is that whatever you need to in whatever you need to change or dynamically change in your app. Fine. So these are a number of things that are already provided. So you just have to use them accordingly here. So add interactivity to your Flutter app. So here it is already given that what icons that you can use here and how they can change their colors according to this stateful widget. Fine. So this is an app that we normally develop here as well. So you can have a look at this and implement the particular stateful widgets here accordingly. Fine. So here on tab, as I have told you that in case of on pressed, you need to implement a particular function. On tab means you just tap over it and then it will particularly implement which function, this handle tab. Okay, so as I've told you, in stateful widget you need to implement this function which will set the state of that stateful widget, okay, dynamically according to the particular user interface there. Fine. So this is the perfect link for it, that how will you induce user interactivity with the help of your stateful widget. So I'm sharing this with all of you. So this was about this particular application. Now I have to tell you that how to run this particular Flutter application, everybody. So in order to run it, fine, obviously you need to run and debug this application. But before even doing that, you must be very careful on the device that you are running it. Fine. So you can always emulate or you can always run this particular mobile application on your Android phones as well. Fine. So if you have to use a particular mobile for your running this particular application, so just go to this show and run commands first. Fine. Show and run commands here. In this, there are like different options: select device, Flutter Doctor, and new project. If you have to create a new project, obviously you will click on this. Flutter Doctor means in case you are encountering a number of issues with your like Flutter version, mobile app version, then run this and it will let you know that what is the underlying problem, what are the underlying errors in your code there, and how can you improve it. Then this is the most important, that is how do you select the device here. So if I click on this, I have two devices that are connected here. First one is the Mac OS, so the application will be opened in my own, like in my own machine. Fine. Mac OS will assist in opening this application. Then is the Chrome. If I click here, so my mobile application will be opened in what? My Google Chrome. Fine. So it is up to you what to use. Also, you can create your own Android emulator. Fine. So that means you can run your application on your mobile phones here as well. If you want to use iOS phones, that is also possible. But for iOS phones, you will have to install different extensions in case of VS Code. Okay. But this Android emulator, it comes with it. But for iOS emulator, what you need to do, you need to install your own extensions there. Fine. So I've selected for the timing so that I can show you guys my Google Chrome as one of the devices here. So which file I need to run? I need to run this main.dart file that will be present in all of these Flutter application. And if you have to make changes to any of these files, this main.dart file will be used to make all of these changes here. Fine. Now, Dart is what? Dart is an extension that you are going to use. Fine. .c, the extension for your C files. CPP, it is the extension for your C++ files. .java for Java. And if you are using Flutter here, then .dart is the extension. Okay. So this is particularly called Dart programming. Flutter is like a software that will help you to run Dart programs. Fine. But as you do C programming, C++ programming here for mobile application, you develop what? You develop a Dart program. That's why the extension here is what? Dart. Always look for this main.dart file. If you have to run your application will be run through main.dart. Now if I run this, everybody, again in front of you, see, now it is opened on what? It is opened on local host. Fine. Now, what is local host here, everybody? Have you ever heard of this term called local host server?
Yes, ma'am.
What is a local host server?
Your own computer or laptop.
Correct. Your own local machine is your local host here. Fine. So your mobile application is actually running on your own local machine. It is using the resources of your own local machine to run that. Fine. But in case like when you are actually deploying your mobile application, obviously you will not only run or deploy it on local host, you will also deploy it on some third party server. Why is it important? Because your mobile application should be disseminated to a number of users. It shouldn't be restricted to your own particular local machine here. Okay, see your local machine, how many things, how many users it can handle. It can only handle, I will say, close to 10 to 20. And I not think it will be able to handle that much. But a third party server, okay, a server is what? Server is just a fancy name that is given to a machine. Fine. So a machine you have, uh, it's like that you have taken a machine on rent. Fine. And that particular machine, it has a number of resources. Fine. It has good storage, it has good computation facility. Fine. So it will be able to handle a number of users there. So you will deploy your mobile application on that what? On that third party server here. Fine. You will not deploy it on your local machine. So that third party server is provided to you by maybe a cloud computing company or maybe some other website, web hosting company. Then normally nowadays we use cloud computing, correct? We rent out a space on some cloud. We rent out a server on some cloud, and then we are using these resources, the computation of that particular server. We are not using the resources of our own local machine. Fine. In cloud computing, your machine, your server on which you deploy that particular application is available at a remote location. You will be able to access that server with the help of internet there. Fine. So just deploy your application on the third party server. Why are you doing that? Because that has good amount of resources which is not available with you. Fine. So it will be able to handle a number of users there. So you deploy your mobile application there, and then it will be able to handle a number of users the way you want to. Correct? So in cloud computing, the server, the machine is not physically present with you. Fine. It is present at a remote location, at some remote location, which you can access it virtually. What you can do, you can always access it virtually. It will not be physically present with you. Fine. So that is the norm that we normally do here. Okay. So in that particular case, once if you deploy any mobile application in near future or in the later future as well, you will have to use a third party server there. Fine. So in order to show you, we just deployed it on what? Localhost. Even if you run your any Flutter application through your VS Code, it will be deployed on your localhost only. Fine. Until and unless you are not using any Android emulator. With the help of Android emulator, you can also deploy it in your mobile phone as well. Okay. So this is the case of very first Flutter application, everybody. Now I will show you one of the other applications, everybody, where I am using a database connectivity. Fine. So database connectivity is a very important part of every software or every application. Okay, what is a database? Have you ever heard of this term called database, everyone? Before that, is this getting live streamed on YouTube link? Have you checked that, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great then, great then. Then we don't need to worry about the number of participants here. Yes, everybody. So what is a database, everybody? Database is something that you must have heard of. Fine. I'm not asking a very vanilla version of the definition that what is a database. If you just look at this term database, what does it tell you?
It is a collection of data.
Connection of data, yes, this is where you're storing the data, everybody. Fine. Data nowadays, it's very important. With the ML and AI, it has become all the more important, everyone. Fine. But data, if I just keep aside ML and AI, it is very important for all of these mobile applications. Fine, everyone. Pick a mobile application and tell me that it runs without a database. It is not possible. Pick Myntra, Amazon. They have like good amount of database stored. They have a database for all the products. They have a database for all the users. They have a database of like sub users, that who has prime membership and who doesn't have. They have a database for all the orders that you have placed. Fine. A mobile application, it cannot run without a database. So it is very important for you guys to know this part, database connectivity in mobile apps. Just clicking on the button and showing the increment counter is not going to work for you guys. Correct? Because we need to have a particular database connection so that we can store the data through our mobile apps as well. Fine, everyone. So under this database connectivity, everybody, again, you'll be learning a full-fledged course on it called DBMS, Database Management Systems. Okay. But here I will like to give you in the next like 45 minutes to 1 hour, I like to give you just like a brief introduction to DBMS here. Fine. That how can you create a database? How can you connect it through your mobile phones as well, mobile apps as well? Okay, so let us start with it. So what is a database? Database is nothing. It is a place where you store the data. Fine. And now, why do we require a database management system, everybody? Yes, we have created a database. That is something that we require. But do we require a database management system? Yes, we really require a database management system as well. So in today's era, you always have big data. Big data, what does it mean? It means you have huge amount of data. Fine. So where you have huge amount of data and I have to get the information for a particular data item. Suppose I have millions of data entries. If I have to get the information of one of the data items there, how it will be possible? Through a database management system. Database management system will ensure that I get that data item in like seconds, in like microseconds. So that for the efficient retrieval of the data, I need a particular database management system that will connect to the database and that will help me to get the particular data item very, very efficiently here. Fine. So under the umbrella of DBMS, everybody, you will be learning like a number of DBMS systems that were used in the past, that we are using now, that will help you to retrieve that data very efficiently here. So for database management, everybody, we use this called SQL. SQL is a language, everybody, but not like your typical C language, C++ language or Java here. It is like a structured query language that will help you to do what? Again, retrieve the data very efficiently from your database here. Fine. So there are a number of queries that you need to write under SQL. So SQL doesn't, as I said, it is not like your typical C or C++ programming here. Fine. So you don't need to write a full-fledged code for it. You just need to write one query. What do you mean by one query? Just one line. So if I have to insert something inside a database, I will just write insert. If I have to update something, I'll just write update. If I have to retrieve something, I will write select. So these queries are they just have one line. Fine. So you don't need to write a full-fledged code, but yes, you need to know the syntax of these queries. You need to know the syntax of insert query, update query, as well as the select query here. So under SQL, everybody, first of all, let me just tell you what is the hierarchy of storing the information here. So under SQL, everyone, there will be a database. A database will comprise of like a number of tables. Fine. These number of tables, these different tables will have again different number of rows there, different columns and rows there. Okay, again, let us take the example of a university database. So you have a university database. Under this, I've created different tables for ECE, ENC, your CSC, and civil, mechanical, different departments here. Fine, everybody. So we are creating what? We are creating different tables for it. So there is a dedicated table for a department. Under the CSC department, I'll just be storing the details of CSC department. Fine. Under CSC department, there are different columns that I'm using. I'm storing for example, only the student details. So the students of CSC department will be stored under the CSC table. Name, address, roll number, their, for example, their parents' information, their parents' mobile number, etc., etc. What is their hostel, etc., etc. So all of these things will be stored under the particular table. Fine. So there are various columns under CSC department. Same columns will be there under the EC department, but there the students' information, like EC students' information, will only be stored there. Fine. So this is the hierarchy. You have a database. Under a database, you have a number of tables, and inside a table, you have various rows and columns there. Okay. So for SQL queries, everybody, we normally have two sorts of queries here. One comes under the category of DML. The other one, it comes under the category of DQL. What is DML? DML is nothing but it is data manipulation language. The queries that help you to manipulate the data, they come under the category of DML. So you have insertion, updation, as well as deletion. So these three queries will help you to manipulate the data. What do we mean by DQL? DQL is data query language. Query language means it will help you to retrieve the data. And under this, you only have one query called select. So if I want to get the information, I want to get the roll number, or if I want to get the address of a certain person, of a certain student under CSC department, I will use the select query because I want to get the information. I'm not updating the information there. I'm I just want to get the address of a particular student whose roll number is maybe like 102432, whatever the roll number is. Fine. So when I'm retrieving the information, that is particularly select query. Under the DML, everybody, if I am manipulating the information, for example, I want to change the hostel of a particular student with this roll number, then I'm manipulating the data here. I'm changing the data there. Fine. I'm changing the data for a particular student with a particular roll number there. I'm changing the hostel of that particular student. So when I'm changing the data, I will be using DML queries. Insert, update, or delete. In such a case, what sort of query will be used? If I have to change the hostel of a particular student with a certain roll number. So would it be insertion, updation?
Ma'am, update.
Correct.
Update.
It will be updation then. Very nice. So in case I have to create or I have to add the details of a new student who has joined the department, then obviously it will be insertion. And someone who has left the department, then obviously it will be what? It will be deletion here. Now let me go through the syntax of these queries. Find how to create a table, how to use a database, how to create entries inside the table. That will be following a certain syntax. Fine. Syntax is something that you must have followed in your C programming, in your C++ programming, and the other programming languages as well. Same here also, you need to follow a certain syntax. You need to follow certain rules while writing these queries here. Fine. So first of all, everybody, we are creating this database. So as I told you the hierarchy, first of all, you need to have a database in place. So we will create a database with the help of create database space database name. Fine. So if I am creating this database, create space database space university. So university database will be created. So let me just show you with the help of an online compiler. So I will be using MySQL online compiler in order to show you all of this. Fine. So for example, I have to create a database. So I will just write create database space database name. For example, what we are taking university. Yeah. So the thing is, in the online compiler, it doesn't let you create your own database. That is because a particular database they're already using. Fine. So I will not, create a new database because the online compilers, they do not let you create a new database. Some database is already existing. You can create your own share of tables there. But it is possible if you install MySQL in your own PC. You can install MySQL in your own PC with the help of software called MySQL Workbench. Fine. So what will be the query? I'm just writing the query. The query is create database and space the database name. So you can create your own database here. It says access denied. That means I'm not the admin. I'll not be able to create a new database here. Okay. So it has some by default database under which I'll be creating a number of tables. Okay. So let me just show you. So in order to use this database, you also need to change it. How to change a database under MySQL? So you can change the database using use space database name. So I've created the database by the name of university. I can just use this use space university in order to change the database. Okay, so you see here it is so simple in case of MySQL. MySQL is what it is like. For example, it will help you to write queries for your SQL. Fine. So MySQL Workbench, it is like a development environment that will help you to write your SQL queries and create your own database. Fine, everyone. Now, this is create database, use database. So as I was saying, see, this is so simple. You don't need to write like 6 lines or 10 lines of code in order to do something. You just need to write just one query and database will be created for it. In case you have to change the database, just use space particular database name. Now coming to table, how to create a table. Fine. So in case I have to create a table, I need to write this query called create space table name. Then whatever columns I need to include, space their data type. Fine. Now data type, the concept here is same as you have learned in C. You have int, you have float, you have string here. But the names there that are used here, those are different. Fine. So the database names that we use here is char for a single character, varchar for a string, double float for your decimal, int for your integer values, date and time for your date time. Fine. So let me just show you one example here. So if I write, um, is the screen visible to all?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I write create table space, for example, CSC students, fine. So first thing I am including here, first column that I'm including here is name space varchar. Under the brackets, I'm writing what? I'm writing the size of it. What can be the particular string size here? Fine. Then name varchar. For example, then I need to have your roll number that must be integer. Fine. And then I need to have your address and that must again be what? A string. So it is again a varchar. And then I will close it with a semicolon. And then if I run this, so it says program did not output anything. Obviously, it will not output anything because we have not inserted anything here. We have just created a table here. Fine. So if I have to check whether this table is created or not, I will execute this command called show tables. So as you can see, under this you have CSC underscore students. That means the particular table has already been created. Okay. So the syntax is quite simple here. The query writing is quite simple. You just need to write create space table and then space you need to write the table name and then you need to provide the information of column name space the data type there. Fine. So this is how you would be going about creating a table in MySQL. Then coming to insertion. So now you have created a table. How will you insert into this particular table? So that is also relatively very simple here. So just write insert into particular table name and the values that you want to write. Fine, the values that you want to insert here. So there are two versions of it. This version and this version, you can follow any of them. I'll be following the first version in order to insert this. So if I have to insert into this, insert into CSC students, and I have to insert certain values here. So ABC for name, roll number is 1 and address is maybe let us take Chandigarh and then semicolon. Fine. So we have inserted into it, but how will we check that particular value, particular row has been inserted or not? So in order to check that, so checking is what? You are retrieving that particular entry, that whether it has been inserted or not. So in order to retrieve that particular entry, we will use what? We will use select query. So as of now, I'm just telling you select star from CSC students. Star means what? See, wherever you encounter this term star, everybody, in any of your computer science subjects, star particularly means all. Okay, star is something that is used in Python. Star is something that is also used in MySQL. But like everywhere, its meaning is uniform, and that particularly means what? That particularly means that all. So select all from CSC students. Whatever I have inserted inside the CSC students, please let me know that what is the data value, what are the data items there. So you can see here, so it is showing name, roll number, address. So you have inserted this ABC1 Chandigarh. So this is something that it is displaying. Fine. So like this, you can insert like n number of rows inside your CSC underscore students there. Okay. So this is how you're going to insert, or you are going to maintain your database with the help of insertion query. Post this, see this is insert into, so I have provided all of these, some examples here, so you can have a look. Then coming to update. So we have done insertion, the next one is update. So we have to update something. You have inserted it, but you need to update it. Fine. Suppose you need to update the address of a particular student, you need to update the hostel of a particular student. How will you do that? So in order to do that, again, I'll be using the same example here. So let me insert one or two values here so that we can update. Fine, everybody. So these are the 3 rows that I'm inserting here. After insertion, everybody, I need to update the particular address of the student. Fine. Whose roll number is 2. Fine. Now tell me. See, for updation, I need to have some sort of indexing here. Fine. So I need to write update CSC students set which field I need to update. Address is equal to Bangalore, where roll number is 2. So I'm using roll number as the index here. Fine. Why I'm particularly using roll number as the index? Can't I use name as the index here and refer to that particular student with the help of name?
Ma'am, roll number would be unique.
Correct. Roll number would be unique. Names can be duplicate. Fine. So this is where the concept of primary key lies. So under every database, you have a certain amount of tables, but every table should have a particular roll number, everyone. That means a particular unique key, a primary key. This is very important for the efficient retrieval of the database. Retrieval, updation, manipulation, what do you want to do? Primary key is really important. Primary key is that column value that will be unique throughout your table. That's why you people are assigned roll numbers so that each student can be referred to without any confusion. Fine. Same is the case with employees in the industry. They are given employee number. Fine. Same is the case with us because we are, as a citizen of India, we are also given Aadhaar numbers. Why is it important? Because it is important to create the database there. If you will not have a unique ID, then it will interfere with the retrieval process, it will interfere with the updation process. So it is very important to have a primary key as a part of every table. So that's why we are assigned Aadhaar numbers. That's why we are assigned roll numbers here. Fine, everyone. So here, roll number, Aadhaar number, these all, they are what? They are the primary keys. Fine. So I'm writing the query here again. Update CSC students. Set what? Set, we have to set address as Bangalore. Where roll number is example 2. Now, in order to check that the particular updation has been made or not, again I will do what? I will write a select query. If we run this, so you can see that wherever the roll number was 2, the address has been changed to what? The address has been changed to Bangalore here instead of Delhi. Fine, everybody. So this is how you can update anything inside your CSC students with the help of the primary key. It is always advisable to use primary key when you are selecting something or when you are updating something here as well. It will ensure the efficient retrieval of the database. It will also ensure the efficient updation of the underlying database there. Okay. After this, you have deletion. So deletion is something that is also fairly simple. What you need to do, delete from CSC students where roll number is this. Again, the deletion should also happen with the help of primary key. So it only deletes one entry. It doesn't end up deleting like multiple entries with the same name if you are using name there. Fine. So if I have to delete, I will just write delete from CSC students where roll let's say it is 3. Fine. Now in order to check that whether the required updation has been done or not, I will again write select star from CSC students. So here, as you can see, after updating it, you are deleting it. So once you delete it, it is only showing 2 entries because you have deleted the one with the roll number what? With the roll number 3 here. So you have deleted the one with roll number 3 here. Fine. So this is how you will go about it. You will go about the DML queries, that is insertion, updation, and deletion as well. Fine. If you have any doubts till this point, you can ask, please. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think somebody wants to join the call. Devanshi, Tamanna, did you raise your hands? If you have any doubts, you can please let me know.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, my doubt is if like we have to store data in bulk, so what we will do, like every time writing the same line is a very hectic process. So can we attach some file or how can we do that?
See, that is a very good question that Tamanna has asked. See, here what you are doing, you are writing, you are inserting query, you are writing the query for every row, correct? So name, address, roll number, I'll be doing it. For example, there are 1500 students in first year. So I'll be doing this, I'll be repeating this activity for 1500 times. Is it feasible for me? No, it is not at all feasible for me. So what we normally do here is that we use the MySQL facility. Why do we use MySQL facility? Because see, it provides us with efficient updation, insertion, and then obviously the retrieval here as well. Fine. But if I have to store the data of 1500 students, then what I will do? I will connect MySQL to a certain programming language. Fine. I will connect MySQL to Python. I can connect MySQL to C as well. I can connect MySQL to C++ and Java as well. Fine. So now what I have gathered here is that I already have an Excel file which is created by admin team in Thapar. It has the data of 1500 students. But that Excel file may not ensure efficient retrieval because we can't write queries there. We will have to, yes, in Excel also you can write certain amount of equations and all in order to find out that. Fine, but if I have to use MySQL there, what I will do, I have that file, that CSV file, the Excel file that is already created. Fine, I have to do now what? First of all, I'll change this file to, for example, I will take that file in Python. I can always read a CSV file, Excel file in Python or in C, in C++. Suppose I'm using Python. Fine. I'm using Python to read that Excel file. I read that file. Now I will write a Python code to create the table for the students and insert each one of these 1500 queries with the help of a for loop. So I don't need to break my head and write each and every query for it. I will just create a for loop in Python. Fine. I'll say that fetch one row from that Excel file, insert it into a table. Fetch one row from that file and then insert it into a table. So this is the procedure that I have to write in Python, and my job can be done in I would say 2 minutes. So storing the data of 1500 students won't take much time here. Fine. So the answer is you need to connect MySQL with the certain programming languages here as well. Got my point?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Devanshi and Aditya, I think you have also raised your hands. If you have any questions, then please ask.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I just wanted to ask that till now we manipulated the data row wise. Can we
Correct.
manipulate the data by column?
See, column, how do you want to update, like, with respect to what? Can you please elaborate your query?
Ma'am, for example, in the previous question, our unique index was the roll number.
Hmm.
If I want to change, for example, all the cities name by a city name called Delhi. If I want to change every city name by Delhi, can we do that?
See, it is
Or
not.
we have to apply a for loop?
See, that is not logical if we see from database perspective that you need to update a column. See, data that are stored that is stored here, that is row wise. Fine. So it
Yes, ma'am.
will be a seldom requirement that you have to change all of these cities there. Okay, it will not be a requirement that you have to change all of these cities here. Whenever you have to change, you have to index it with the help of a certain primary key, and then you have to change that particular row here. But yes, like as you are saying, for a particular column, renaming is possible. For example, I want to change the column name from address to just city, because I'm just storing the city. I just want to rename that column to city. So that is possible with the help of update. Fine. Update space column name, rename, and then you need to set the new name. Fine. So that is possible with the help of like MySQL. But changing all of these cities, first of all, see, it's not logical to change all of these cities. So that's why such kind of arrangement is not existing here. You can change the data type, fine. You can change the like particular column name. Those provisions are available in MySQL if you have to change something inside a column. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Next question. Devanshi, I think you raised your hand. Devanshi, are you there? Do you want to ask some question? Fine. So now let us go ahead, everybody. Now the next thing here is drop table. Fine. Drop table will delete the entire table. So the query that you need to write for it is drop space table and space your table. So I'll not execute that query because then I'll have to recreate my table. Fine. But just see to it. It is very simple. Drop space table name here. Then coming to DQL here, everybody. So DQL is what? Data query language. So under the umbrella of data query, you only have one query, that is select. Fine. Select will help you to retrieve the data, to query your database. Fine. So for that, there are a number of things that are available. So I'll show you a number of options that you can directly use for MySQL. So here, for example, as of now, we have only used what? Select star. Star means what? Star means all. Okay, but I do not want to select all the columns. I only want to select certain columns here. So suppose I only want to display names. So select name from CSC students. So see, it is just displaying name. It is not displaying anything. It is just displaying names here. Fine. In case I have to display multiple columns, that is also possible. So now it is showing two columns instead of one. Fine. Now if I have to apply some check on it, for example, I just want to display the name and roll number of a certain student where roll number is, I would say, for example, 1. So I can also apply certain conditions, wait. What did I do? Where is MySQL? Okay. So if I run this, then it is only displaying the name and roll number for a certain roll number here. Okay, everybody. So you can apply checks with conditions, or you can also apply, like if you want to display certain column number, certain columns, not all the columns, that is something that you can also do with the help of select queries here. Okay. Again, it is displaying the data, it is just doing what? It is just retrieving the data here. Okay. Now comes the main point here, everybody. As I have told you, okay, as some student already asked, that how will you store the data if you have like such big data to process? So I told you the answer for it, the solution for it, that you need to connect MySQL with what? You need to connect MySQL with Python. You can connect it with Java, C++ as well. Fine. So you need to connect MySQL with the particular programming language. Now coming back to mobile app development, everybody, if you have to use MySQL in Dart programming, then the bridge between MySQL and Dart programming will be provided to you by the PHP. Fine. For that, you need to install PHP MyAdmin in your systems. Note it down, you need to install PHP MyAdmin in your systems. So PHP MyAdmin will help you to connect your MySQL with your like website also, with your like mobile applications also. Fine. So PHP MyAdmin is not just used in case of mobile applications. It will be very handy to you when you are building your own websites and you need a database facility at the back end of it. So in that regard, also you can use PHP MyAdmin there. Fine. So for a typical PHP code, what fields that you need to write? Here you take these all variable names with the help of dollar. So you need to tell what is your server. So in this case, I'm providing localhost because I'm running my code on localhost. In case I'm running my code on some local, like some third party server, I will write the IP address of that third party server here. Fine. That server must be having a unique IP address with which I can access it. Okay. So in that regard, when you're using a third party server, you need to write that particular IP address. Then the username here is root. Okay. Normally we use root only. Password is nothing. I've kept nothing. Okay. If you have any password, you need to write that. Okay. So this password is the password to access your MySQL. Fine. Then the connections here. So you need to connect it through particular server through username and password. Then this is like if there is a connection error, then you need to write this message connection failed. Otherwise, you need to start like create database. So the first and foremost query in your MySQL will always be to create the database. So create database space, database name. And then if the connection is established, then you say that database has been successfully created. Fine. Otherwise, you will say there was an error in creating the database. Fine. So this is how you're going to execute your MySQL queries in PHP MyAdmin. Why are we particularly doing so? That is because PHP MyAdmin will help you to connect your MySQL with your mobile app applications. How will it do? I will just show you. But as of now, these are the types of routines that you need to write using your PHPs there, using your PHP under the PHP MyAdmin. Fine. So whenever you write it, you store this file with the extension what? With the extension called .php. Fine. So I'll show you a number of files that I have created in my own PC. So this file was for creating the database because what query you are writing? Creating the database. This file is what? For what? Creating the table because you are writing the create table query here. Fine. This file is for what? Select ID first name, last name. So this one is for what? Fetching the data, for retrieving the data. Fine. So these are, see, I have provided the examples of creating the database table as well as selecting. So you can directly copy paste this in your text editor and store it with what extension? .php here. But for that, you must have already installed PHP MyAdmin there. Okay, so let me just show you how will PHP MyAdmin look like. So this is how PHP MyAdmin will look like. Let me just go to the home. Yeah. So this is how it will look like. Fine. It is very easy to install PHP MyAdmin. You can always install it. Fine. So for this, these are the databases that you have created. And if you want to go to SQL part, just go and you can run your queries there as well. Fine. So these are the databases that I've already created as a part of my PHP admin. Fine. So ELC, emp data, MySQL, everything is there. Fine. Now, if I show you the files, .php files that I've created in my system, so for that, I will have to go to applications, and then I have XAMPP, then htdocs, and then I have, see, you see so many PHP files here. Let me just zoom. So you have delete.php, you have fetchdata.php, you have fetchemp.php. So you see there are so many files that I've created. So let me just show you one with the help of the text editor, or I will just open it in Xcode. So the same thing that I've used there in the slides, the same thing I have copy pasted here. So I'm selecting what ID, first name, last name from it. See everybody, inside your PHP code, everything will remain same. It's just you have to change this query. Like what query you need to execute. Whether you want to execute a create table query, whether you want to execute insertion query, whether you want to execute a selection query. So again, this is a blueprint that is already provided to you in the slides. I will share all the material with all of you guys, but this is where you need to make the changes. Whether it is selection, insertion, updation, whatever you need to do, you need to make the changes under this $SQL is equal to this. Fine. And then your job will be done. So let me just run this fetch data file for you. Shall I run this? How will I run this? So this PHP my admin again is present on my local host. So I will just write localhost, and then what PHP file I need to execute, fetch underscore data dot php. So you see, it is fetching that data for me, everybody. What query did I write under fetch underscore data? Did you see? What query did I write? What is this query? So this is selecting ID and first name, correct? It is retrieving the data from which table? EMP table, EMP table. Fine. This table is already available in my PHP myadmin. So it is selecting that data and displaying that in front of me. Fine, everybody. So now I have MySQL on the local host. I have my mobile application also on the local host. I just need to connect these two things now. Fine. I will be running my mobile application on the local host, but my mobile application will be doing what? It will be fetching this data with the help of select query under a PHP file, and then it will be displaying that data on my what? Mobile application, not here. Fine. So I will be writing a code inside my mobile application to fetch this data, to fetch data using a function. Fine. That will call this fetch underscore data dot php file. Fine. And then it will display the data on my mobile application. How it will do? Let us see in the VS Code. So let me just open that particular folder. So again, I have main.dart file that is in front of me, everybody. So I have to use main.dart file. What I have done here, I have just taken my previous code of that clicking that button code, and I have just made changes to it. Fine. Again, I am using some stateful widgets here where I am displaying the data that I fetched from that PHP file and PHP file is fetching the data from that particular EMP table here. Fine. So I will just go to that PHP part and show you. Rest of the things are entirely same. So here, if you see here, I have taken this particular get data function. Now get data will go to this URL. Now, what is this IP address? Why I'm writing this IP address? See, this IP address is for my local host. You can directly write local host as well. You do not need to write 192 like the proper IP address. Instead of this 192.168.1.12, you can directly write local host. You do not need to write this full IP address here. So this is the URL, fine. And then it will set state, whatever data it fetches, that will be displayed here. Fine. In case it is not able to fetch the data, it will print this error message here. Fine. So let me just run this for you guys so that you know how is it fetching the data and how is it displaying it on your mobile application. So you can see here, this is the Flutter server app. This is the title that I've provided for it. And this is the data that it is displaying directly from wherever it has fetched from, fetch underscore data dot php. Fine. So the same data was getting displayed there. The same data is getting displayed here. Fine, everyone. So this is how you can fetch the data for a table that is already has the data. Okay, and the table is present in your PHP MyAdmin. Be assured of this thing. Fine. So the table, I will also show you the table here, everyone, in PHP MyAdmin. Where is PHP MyAdmin here? Yeah. So here emp data, what was, yeah, emp data was the database and emp was the, I think it was the, no, it wasn't the same. Let me check what database is it using. So the database here it is using is emp underscore data only. So this is the particular entry 1AABB. That was something that it was displaying here as well as on your mobile application as well. Okay, so it is important to have this in your PHP MyAdmin. Once you have created this table, you can easily fetch the data here. Okay, so this is about only fetching the data from database server. Now the next job here would be, for example, you create a sort of, I would say, form like structure in your mobile application, like with the name, with all of the details that you want to fetch from your user, and then you store it in a table in your PHP MyAdmin, and then you display it. Okay, so that is something I'm expecting from you all to do. Again, you have to write the particular PHP codes where you have to create the table, where you have to insert it. So you just have to tweak one line in the PHP file that I will provide you. Fine. Once you do it, then you need to display the data in the same fashion that I have displayed in this mobile application. Fine. So that will be your assignment, everybody. I expect all of you to attempt this assignment. Fine, everyone. So what you have to do, you have to first of all create a mobile application in which you have these widgets like text boxes, or maybe you can use drop down menu, whatever you need to, uh, like whatever you like here. And then there will be a submit button at the bottom of it. Once you click submit, These all details will go to the table in your PHP MyAdmin, and then when you fetch data, those details must be fetched from your PHP MyAdmin table as well. Okay, this will be your assignment. I will give you a detailed explanation of it that will be uploaded to LMS maybe in the next 3 to 4 days. And also, I will upload all of this stuff, this slides. These slides I will upload the how to install Flutter, how to install PHP uh, each one of these links will be given to you through the LMS. Fine, everybody. So this is it from my side. Now, if you have any questions on your end, then please ask.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, basically we have to basically do everything that you have shown right now here.
Your
Same.
voice is very, that it's very noisy. Can you please? I'm not able to understand anything. You can either write on chat or you can try again.
Ma'am, in the last topic where you asked to put the IP address of the PC, so like if we put the IP address of any other PC, not our PC, so can we fetch the data there? Like, can it be helpful?
Yeah, it can be fetched. I'm not saying that it can't be fetched. It can be fetched, but you have to look at the security settings of the other PC. See, most of the PCs they have firewall settings. They will not allow any XYZ connection. They will block your connection. So in case there is another PC with and you want to access that PC, be assured of this thing that firewall settings are off there, are switched off there. So in that case, it can
Like
exist.
in the cyber cell when we are fetching the data of someone, so can that be helpful there?
See, as I have told you, see the incoming connections they always have a security check. Fine. So you can always access the data given that the other PC, the other server does not have any incoming connection check. If I have kept on my firewall security, you will not be able to access my PC with the IP address. But if I have kept it off, then incoming connections are allowed and you will be able to access the data on my PC. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, to create a table, like we have to write the code in PHP admin.
PHP. See, PHP MyAdmin is the place where you will be writing the code, but you will have to store the file with the help of .php.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Let me just take the question here. Yes, Karthik, I think it is fairly okay that if you want to do mobile application here, this activity, this is fairly okay. This will not create any problem. Yes, see, you need to create a similar application in this case. I have just shown you the application of fetching the data. Fine. You have to include one more function where you are getting the data from your mobile application. So your mobile application has like a form structure to it where you're using is typing all the details. You need to fetch those details. Fine. And then store it in a PHP table. And then what you need to do, you need to display it using the fetch data option as well. So it is little bit different. You just need to create one more function of getting the data of like whatever your user is typing in your mobile application, get that data from your mobile application and then store it in a PHP MyAdmin table. This is the different part that you need to do. Okay. Satvik, I think this will not be a problem that if you have switched from robotic arm activity. So I will like to tell you all that robotic arm activity will happen. It will happen once the institute reopens. So in case you want to, you know, um, participate in that activity, that is an offline activity, so it only allows limited number of people there. You can also participate there. At the end of the day, you need to submit one assignment, I think, for ELC. So you can choose any one of them. It is up to you. Yes, Devanshi, do you have any doubt?
Ma'am, do we get any certificate of ELC activity we have done in SEM 1?
Yes, yes, you will get certificate for every ELC activity that you will complete here. So every SEM, I think you need to submit one ELC activity assignment. So in every SEM, you will get your certificate as well for that activity. Any more doubts, guys? If you have, you can ask, please. And also, you can drop a mail to me in case you are facing any trouble in submitting the assignments. Fine. Let me know. I'll create a link on Elements in the next 2 or 3 days. I will also upload all the required material there itself on LMS. Vishal, we have not decided with the last date of submission. I'll just discuss it with my coordinator and let you know through LMS only. Okay. It is typically, I think, 1 or 2 months after this. So you don't need to hurry. You can do this assignment at your own pace. Arnav, this is the only session that we have for mobile app activity. I will sharing all the material or the resources through LMS. You don't need to read a book for this. So I'll not share any book, but yes, I'll share the required material and resources there. Okay. Harshita, yes, you can do it. I don't think that will create any problem there. But you need to be, very quick in this because those robotic arm activity only allows a certain number of people since it is happening, it happens online, offline. Okay. Arnav, see, as I have told you that it is very difficult to to get all of these start programming your MySQL, your PHP MyAdmin. I know this may seem to be like little over the head because you have learned so many things in just 2 hours. Fine. But the thing is that is the essence of ELC activity, everybody. Here we see there are certain things that you'll be learning in due course of your degree. You will be learning about PHP, you'll be learning about MySQL. There is a dedicated course for it, as I've told you, DBMS. Fine. So you don't need to be worried about this thing that you you don't have sufficient amount of knowledge for it. Fine. If you have like some amount of knowledge that you have gathered through this lecture, that you have gathered through this session, as I've told you what you need to do, you just need to take a blueprint of the code, blueprint of Dart, blueprint of a PHP code, and then you just need to make changes here and there, and that's it. Okay. So this will see, these activities will then teach you how to do the such kind of work very efficiently, because in industry, everybody, you are required to learn certain things like at a very fast pace. It's not like you will be given time to read books, or you will be given time to get the nitty-gritties of that concept. It does happen. You have to learn certain things like at a very fast pace in your training. In that regard, this is something that you do. Okay, you don't need to get into so many nitty-gritties of that concept. You have the blueprint code, just you should know how to tweak it. You should know how to do the smart work here. Fine. So in that respect, these activities will help you guys. Adhyan, groups or individuals, that is something that I'll also discuss it with my coordinator, and then I'll let you know very soon on this. Okay. This all information will be provided to you on LMS. So on that note, everybody, I'll take a leave now, and we will then meet. Not now meet. We will see. I'll see you guys some other time in the university itself. Fine. So in case of any doubts, everybody, you can always drop a mail to me, or you can always drop by my cabin. Fine. So my cabin number is 716 on the 7th floor. You can always drop by my cabin as well, and I'll share all the resources, whatever is required, okay, on LMS in 2 or 3 days. Karthik, I will share everything on LMS, although I have iterated it over that what sort of app you need to build, but I'll share everything again on LMS. Fine. Okay, great.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.